Hi everyone, welcome to another key moment in chess history. This is round 19 of the Karlsbad tournament in 1907. It's the last game that we're going to look at from this tournament. And in this game, Rubinstein is facing an old legend, Mikhail Chigorin. So the position looks pretty even, and he played rook takes, he just traded everything off. So one would expect the game to head towards a relatively quick conclusion, a draw. But you got to be careful when Rubinstein's involved, because if you give him the smallest hope, he's going to take advantage of it. And the issue we also have here is Chigorin is not the most peaceful player. He likes to attack. He's an aggressive player. So he may be slightly out of his element. Let's take a look at what happened. Knight f5, queen e6. Chigorin could trade and probably draw the game without too much difficulty. But no, he wants to go for some attack. Black goes queen to d2, attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn on b2. And now Chigorin's had enough. He goes queen e2, knight to b6, maybe threatening knight a4, by the way. So white stops it. Knight c8, just going to go knight to d6. Now, of course, white could just trade king f3, and the position's a drawn. It's a drawn position. But Chigorin still shows that he wants to win this somehow. He refuses to trade, keeps pieces on the board, and it seems that he has aggressive intentions, but it may not be wise to have them here. Although, white is certainly in no danger here whatsoever. This position is even. King f3, king e7, king e2, king e6, g4. Now you start to see he's trying to do some weird pawn storm or something. It doesn't seem justified exactly. Now, his aggressive play has given a hole on e4, whereas what has white gained in return? Not so clear. Knight e6 attacks the pawn, knight g2 defends it, and now h4. And it's just hard to say exactly what white is trying to accomplish here. And this is one of Chigorin's weaknesses. His positional sense was just not great, and it's probably why he was never world champion. It's not like his horrible positional sense, but he's really good at the attack. Right here, it's a technical endgame, and he's starting to make weird moves. And after h5, suddenly, white has some issues. I meant to have you guys find that move. I totally forgot. But the point is, if g5, we move the king back, and this f5 square is a bit weak. Now, yes, I think it should still be a draw with best play. Because if we try to sneak our knight to f5, he can just play the move knight to e3. So I think g5 should have been able to hold a draw here. This move, a little riskier, because now when we go knight f5, we can take back with the king and get an active king. So if something like, honestly, this should probably be enough for a draw also. Although it's not super clear. Like knight f5 could be really annoying here. Because if you trade and then trade again, this endgame might be lost for white. In fact, I would venture that it is lost. The king will eventually have to move, and our king will infiltrate. So it's just unnecessary aggressive play from white. And after h5, he continued aggressively playing with f5, and then g5. And his plan is at some point to win this pawn back. But it's not so easy, because if knight e3, knight f4 check. So he starts with king e3 to go, I don't even know what he's going to do. And now f6. And after take, black is just up a pawn. So just not very good play from Chigorin, and Rubinstein was ready to pounce and take advantage of the mistakes. Knight to, and f4 is a strong move. The idea is if knight takes, knight f5. King f3, with check, we take it. And we still remain up a pawn. We check again. Maybe take an h4. Maybe knight g5 and f4. It's hard to say which is exactly the best. But black is clearly much better here. So nice move in f4. White played king to d3. And now we have to defend the h-pawn. Just king to g6. c4 was played. And now, I'm actually going to, I don't remember the move here, but it might be interesting. Let me see. No, I mean, there's nothing too exciting here. Knight e4. Take. Bishop to f3. Knight to f6. a4. So black to move in this position, what would you play? Okay, so there's not like a actual correct answer here. Meaning all kinds of moves are good. Like king f5, I'm sure is fine. However, what you're going to see here is the kind of style that a top positional technical player has. And one key to every strong positional player is they have a huge amount of patience. Meaning he's not going to rush trying to win here. And he knows his pawns want to be on dark squares because this bishop's on a light square. And he just plays a5. Stops white's pawns from moving anymore. Complete patience. Of course, it's not necessary to play that move, but that's what the technical players do. Before they rush into things, they just kind of make sure everything is nice and tidy. And so he played the move a5. Knight e1, knight g7 with the idea of knight f5. Now when knight f3 comes, knight to g4, stopping knight e5. Oh, but he plays it anyway now. And this looks scary now, because the d5 pawn is under attack. But after knight takes, bishop takes, b6, king e4, king g5. I remember this endgame is very difficult for black to win, because this e pawn is now very dangerous, but Rubinstein is able to get the job done. It takes some fancy maneuvering, though. As you see, he just repeats the position, but not this time. Knight e7. He's just taking his time here. h4. Bishop d7. And now he plays a nice move, f3. Because if king takes f3, knight takes e5 check. And after bishop to h3, black has a strong move here. You can feel free to pause your video and find it. But actually, maybe I wonder if there are more than one strong move. But in any case, he played the move knight f4. Why in particular is this move so good? Well, if f2, you may, and maybe just e6 is annoying. Maybe king f3 is going to just win that f-pawn. However, in the game, after knight f4, if something like bishop to f1, we can play h3. Sorry, I just got a phone. And after king takes pawn, h2. And if he tries to stop it, we just take the bishop. And black's king is too close to these pawns, and we'll win the game. So after knight f4, the question remains, well, what if e6? And this is what happened in the game, and it just turns out that yes, white makes a queen, but you just run out of checks. It looks like there might be a perpetual, because the king can't come this way, check on f8. However, we can just go queen h5, and then we can just go queen g4. And if queen d7, king g3, if queen g7, knight g5 check, and black simply wins the game. So that was the end of a fantastic tournament from Rubinstein. Well, in fact, he had 2 more games left. But I think he drew the last one and maybe won the one before it. He ended up with 15 points out of 20. A fantastic score. It was first placed by a half point over Maroczy. And now you see another top player has arrived on the scene, and you're going to see a lot of great battles between him and other strong players in the next 10 years in chess history. But I hope you like some of his games. As you can see, he's very good at the technical endgames. He won quite a few games in this tournament using his technique and using his kind of fine play in simple positions. Like he just calmly plays good moves, doesn't do anything crazy, and slowly outplays his opponents. Sort of like Carlsen does, sort of like Capablanca did. And when I see more of his games, which I'm looking forward to, I'm going to try to figure out What makes him worse than those players? Because he probably was a little bit weaker. His results never were quite as strong as they were, although they were very good. But they were never quite as strong as Capablanca's and other world champion players. Although he never really had a chance to play for the world championship, which was a bit of a shame. But we're going to be seeing much more of Rubinstein in the coming weeks, so get ready for it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with a coverage of a new tournament. I think it's actually going to be another World Championship match of Lascars, this time against Tarrasch. See you then. Bye-bye.